Well, very good morning, guys. Okay. So last day, we just been learned about the dependency injection. And in the dependency injection, as per our discussion, there are three important components here. What are the three? One is the client. The client is the controller who is consuming the service. The second one is service. What is the service? The interface or the implementation class, which is going to provide the services to the client. Third one, injector. And what is the injector? Injector is the class which is going to inject the service to client. And injection here, as I said to inject it, you're required to first register it. Three methods we discussed to register. What are the three? Add singleton, add scoped, add transient. Add singleton means only one object for all. Add scoped means one object for each request. One object for each request. In that request, you can do one call or multiple method calls. Transient. One object for each call, each method call. We call it as a single call. The name itself is a single call. Singleton, one for all. Single call, one for each. Scope remains one for each request. In that request, there can be one call or multiple calls also. Okay. So these are the three options. What next? The next thing is how to inject. Actually, you can inject in three ways, guys. One is constructor injection. Second one is method injection. And the third one is property injection. Okay, we'll talk about it. And right now, see, I said you the options to you. We have the methods like add singleton, add scoped, or add transient. If at all you're working at just a minute. Yeah, we stopped it here. When to use what? Right, last class we stopped it here. When to use what? In real time, we need to register components such as application-wise configurations as singleton. Database access classes like NT framework context as scoped, so that the connection can be reused. If you want to run anything in parallel, then transient. For banking applications as ADO, it is always a transient what we should use. What are the different types of dependency injections in .NET Core? Three options. I said you this also. Constructor injection, property injector. Constructor injection means you inject the service class through a constructor. What we saw in the last session is constructor injection only. Remember, we have injected the service class here through a constructor. Same way, in the place of constructor, you can write a method also. You can write a property also. Method injector, property injector. We'll see them. The different things. Here I shown you. I thought constructor injection is suitable. We used. Tomorrow, in any case, you may require a method injector or you may require a property injector. Anything of your choice. See, constructor injection. When the injector injects the dependency object, that is service class object or instance through the client class constructor, then it is called as constructor injection. Same way, when the injector injects the dependency object through the public property of a client class, then it is called as property injection or setter injection. Set property, not get. Get means getting now. Set is sending. So through a setter, we call it as a setter injection. Same way, method injection. If the injector injects the dependency object through a public method of the client class, then it is called as method injection. Okay, how you're going to inject is your choice. You can even do manual injection also. Note, we can also manually inject a dependency object into client class by implementing the below code. How to implement? See, where services is equals to HTTP context dot request services, and now see services dot get service type of interface name, and here also interface name where obj is equals to. It works. For example, watch here. I want to call this method now. Dal is globally created. No, I want to go for a local. Tell me the interface name, guys. I customer Dal. I customer. So see, now you're going to get the object and obj dot customer. I did not use Dal dot. I used obj dot. Obj is a local injection. This is completely manual coding. So we have 4 options actually. What are the 4 options? Constructor injection, method injection, property injection. 4th one, manual injection. Okay, manual is not listed for you. What is listed is only constructor, property, method. Okay, but still manual is also available. Okay, well, guys, to implement dependency injection in our application, do the following. Step 1. Remember all the steps. Last class I shown you all the things practically. What is the first step? Define an interface. Define a interface now. So you're defining an interface. What did you write here? All the 5 methods are declared here. Second step, make this interface as a parent of your class. See now, go to customer XML DAL and make iCustomer DAL interface as a parent as following. Public class colon. Step 3, register the service class for dependency injection in startup class for ASP.NET Core 5.0 or program class for ASP.NET Core 6.0 and above. If you're working on 6.0 and above, use this by calling any of the 3 register methods. What? Add singleton, add transient, add scope based on your requirement. Importing model namespace should be imported. And remember, if it is 5.0, this is the code. Where should I write? Under, if it is 6.0 and above, if it is 6.0 and above, you should write in the program class. We should write in the program class just above the statement where app is equals to builder.build. Are you clear? About the statement where app.builder, write this. Any of the 3. Choice is yours based on. But I suggest you scope. Last class I said you scope is the best for database actions and all. Note, for our application, what we have been developing, add scoped will be the best option because in insert, update and delete, we have multiple methods getting executed in each request. So scoped is the best option. Next, go to, and in top of the class, we have created instance of delete it. Delete it, guys. Delete that one and write the below code over there. What did you write? Public read only iCustomer DAL obj. Next, public customer controller iCustomer DAL obj. This dot obj is equals to obj. Actually, guys, when you're writing this, look at this, all of you. When you're writing this, just watch. Public. What is that? Customer controller. What did we use? iCustomer DAL DAL. iCustomer DAL DAL. Now, basically, see, it is a variable. Sorry, it is just a variable. We need to declare a field and initialize it now. Yes or not? When you generally right click on this one and go to quick actions and refactorings, it will show you an option. It will show you an option. What option? Just a minute. Yeah. When you right click on this and say quick actions and refactorings, it will show you. Shall I create and assign a property? Means it is asking, I'll create you one property and assign the value to it, or otherwise create a field and assign. It is showing you, you want to declare a property and assign a, or you want to create a field and assign a. Select the second option, create a field and assign. It'll write the code for you, see. It declared, see, private read only. Why read only? Non-modifiable. It should not be modifiable and also accessible only within the class. So private field. Next, this dot dal is equals to dal. You too can type, or you can use the implicit auto code generator options in the studio. Okay, they will do all the work for you without you writing it. Is that clear, everyone? So we have just been done it, and now the rest of all is going to be same. The rest of all is going to be the same now. Are you clear? So till now, what did we do? We have converted our project for compatibility to dependency injection. We did not use dependency injection still, but we made it compatible for dependency injection there. Are you clearer or not? So what to do now? If you want to use the dependency injection, now implement the rest of the classes. What classes? I custom, what is that? We have XML DAL, same way, SQL DAL, Oracle DAL, Excel DAL. Based on the requirement, implement those classes now. And after implementing the classes, go to injector, that is program. And there, change this name now. What name? Change the name as customer SQL DAL or Oracle DAL or Excel DAL. Change it. That's all. Your project is now ready for implementing. Come on. Dependency injection. It is your job now to give the implementation. Whatever implementation you give, that should work now. So shall we give the implementation to SQL Server now? Shall we give implementation for SQL Server? So right now what we done, we given all the code in XML now. No, this is not going to be permanent. I just want to be more secure data. Oh, you want secured? Yes. If that is the case, then go with SQL Server. Then go with SQL Server. Just go it for the SQL Server and store the content in it. Okay. So let us go with SQL Server. Okay, guys, we'll just work with the SQL Server. So to work with SQL Server, to work with this particular SQL Server, what to use? I want to use Entity Framework Core. I want to use Entity Framework Core. We already know Entity Framework and how to use Entity Framework for interacting with the data sources, right? Then now the plan of action is want to use Entity Framework Core and interact with the data sources now. Okay, so have a look, guys. Implementing DAL class, targeting SQL Server, targeting the SQL Server. Okay, now let us implement a new DAL class, targeting SQL Server. And to do that, let us use Entity Framework Core, which is an extension of Entity Framework. Is an extension of your Entity Framework, what you learned. Now it is, say, ASP.NET became ASP.NET Core. Entity Framework became Entity Framework Core. MVC became MVC Core. All changed the names now, .core now. Entity Framework Core. There is a new version of Entity Framework after 6.x. What is the last version of Entity Framework? 6.4.4. That what is a body present, mind absent. 6.4.4. How many times you added the reference? So you also see the version number. Remember, 6.4.4 is the last version. The next edition is Entity Framework Core. It's an open source, lightweight, extensible, cross-platform version of Entity Framework data access technology. Entity Framework is an object relational mapping framework. You know that word already. Next, it is an enhancement to older edu.NET that gives developers an automated mechanism for accessing and storing the data in. It is all automated mechanism. Next, Actually, the main intention of EF core is targeted to use with .NET Core applications, but EF core can be used in .NET framework also. Option is there, but 4.5 and above cannot use it. Framework 4, framework 3 application, 4.5 and above applications we can use. Next, EF core is a complete rewrite compared with EF6, but maximum it's a rewrite, guys, complete rewrite, but all options are available. Maximum all options are available. Next. We don't have three. In EF, we have NT framework, we have three approaches. What are the three? Code first, DB first, model first. Model first is not there now. What we have is only code first and DB first. And coming to DB first also, limited support. Coming to DB first also, it is only a limited support. Read them. We don't have a designer here. Like there we have a designer. The designers are not there. Why? Tomorrow if you work on Linux and all, these designers won't work, and the designers are not available here. The designers are available only in the entity framework, but not in entity framework core. So code first, model first. These two options are, DB first, limited support, model first, no support. Next. We talked about all these things in our NT framework class, just refreshing the things, that's all. Next. We don't have a wizard like what we saw there. Commands only. Here also commands only. Okay, next. EF core versus EF6. EF core is a new and improved version of NT framework for .NET Core application. EF core continues to support the following features and concepts same as EF6. Here also we have DB context, DB set, data model, querying with link to entities, change tracking, save changes, migrations, all these things what we learn there are supported here also. What is not supported? EF core will include most of the features of EX6 gradually. However, there are some features of EF6 which are not supported in all these particular features are not supported. The 7 features. What 7? EDMX, the graphical visualization, NT data model wizard for DB first approach, automated migrations. We don't have automated migrations here. There we have automated and manual, but here what we have is only manual, no automated migrations. Fourth one, we don't have the inheritance strategies. A table per type, table per concrete class, many to many without using join, lazy loading, and stored procedure mapping. These options are not available. Are you clear? What we have is only eager loading and everything without procedure only. No procedure usage is available here. Next. Some latest features it has. What is it? E3 relationship configuration, batch insert, update and delete means performing operations in bulk. Performing operations in bulk. 10 inserts should be done at a time. That we call that as batch insert, batch update, batch delete. In-memory providers for testing, support for IOC, unique constraints, shadow property, alternate keys, global query filters, field mapping, DB context pooling, better patterns for handling disconnected NT graphs. We'll see them. Okay, but these are some of the advanced features what are available for you in the EF core, not supported in EF6. Okay, next. Read this. You want to work with which database? You want to work with which database means you'll put blank face SQL server here. Want to work with SQL server, nah? Tomorrow you may want to work with Oracle. You may want to work with MySQL or Ingress, anything. For everything you require to install the appropriate libraries now. And all the libraries are available in the location. So go there, it will show you the list of all the libraries. Database provides. NT Framework Core can access many different through plugin libraries called database providers. And these are the providers that are available to you. Provider for SQL Server, SQLite, in-memory databases, PostgreSQL, MySQL. This is also MySQL only. Oracle. This is another company's MySQL. DWAT is the company. DWAT Oracle. DWAT PostgreSQL. DWAT SQLite. Enterbase. Okay, IBM's database are different here. IBM is giving for DB2 and Informex. Like this, we just have different database support available. You can see the complete list. And here you can understand the correct database, supported database engine. What this supports you? Azure SQL and SQL Server databases. This one, SQLite, in-memory databases, Cosmos, PostgreSQL, MySQL, MariaDB, MySQL, Oracle DB, MySQL 5, Oracle database, PostgreSQL. Different companies here, same may be repeated, but companies are different. Enterbase, Firebird, DB2 and Informex. DB2 is purely works only on the IBM. IBM only it runs only on the IBM machines only, DB2. And some are free, some are paid. You can see here. If you don't see anything there that is free, otherwise if it is paid, you will see the information there. Watch. They're all free. Free only, but limitations are there. What are the limitations? The limitations can be like, it works only for these many number of users. More than that users you need to pay. Means for 10 users if you have free, more than 10 users you need to purchase. Like this, some limitations are there. They're all free, guys. But see, from here, these are all paid. You need to purchase them. Paid for Windows, paid for Linux, paid for Mac OS. Currently, this is in preview, not... this is only for development purpose. Works only on .NET framework. Like this, we just have the information available. You can see the site. If you see that, you will get the information like what it supports and what it doesn't support to you. Clear? We need to install the appropriate providers now. How to install? I shown you the list. You don't require to install from there. I've just shown you the list there, and you don't require to install from there. Okay, then how we are going to perform this and how you're going to install this? We'll show you guys. If at all you just want to install them, you can install directly using NuGet only. You can install directly using NuGet. Actually, you require to install two NuGet packages. Two NuGet packages. What are the two? First one. This package here, this particular package is commonly installed for any database. You work with Oracle, you work with MySQL, you work with SQL Server, any database you install. These are the tools for NT framework, not targeting any particular database. For all NT framework, common tools these are. Next one. Purely for SQL Server. Same way you'll find Microsoft NT Framework Core.Oracle for Oracle now. MySQL for SQL, MySQL. So, but first one is common for all. Second one is specific to SQL Server. That is the difference what we have. Common and specific. Next, read it. Here I have given the information. Microsoft NT Framework Core.Tools. That depends on another package. So that's why when I install this one, it will install this package also now. Read it. It will provide some additional things to you. So if you install the first one, it will not install only one, it will install you two. What two? NT Framework core.tools, NT Framework core.design. Next one. You know the data.sql client, na? You learned in edu.net. That is the same SQL client here. First one. That is also common for all, guys. That is also common for all. Next one. Only SQL Server database, which are required to work only with the SQL Server database. So these are the sub packages what have to be installed in this particular context. Are you clear? Fine. Yeah, let's see now. What you'll do, first step, to work with SQL Server using NT framework in our existing MVCDH project. First step. Come on, let's install the two packages. First one. Let's go to Tools menu, NuGet Package Manager, Manage NuGet Packages. Before installing, just let us go to dependencies. And you remember analyzers, frameworks. I explained you about these analyzers. So 4 options will be there, I said you. Right now we have analyzers and frameworks, and here we have core app and net core app. Okay, we have something here. Okay, just remember that. Okay, come on, let's go to browse now. Install. Yeah. Microsoft NT Framework Core.tools. And if you go to the other side here, the dependencies will be shown here. Basically, this will provide you all these commands. I hope you remember these commands. Add migration, all these particular commands, remove migration. Some of the things we use, update database, we use these commands. All these commands will come along with this package. And this package depends on it. See, come in the bottom, it will show you. Microsoft NT Framework Core.design. It depends on that. Means if I install that, this will install you this particular thing also. Okay. So we can find all the information below, basically. What are the dependencies and all. Install. What is the second one, guys? Microsoft.NT Framework Core.SQL Server. And this depends upon 2 sub packages, what I said. Check there. The bottom you see. Microsoft NT Framework Core.relation, Microsoft.data.SQL client. All these dependencies. Install. Watch now. What you got? Packages. That's why I showed you first. First we have analysis and frameworks. Now we have, and here you have the list of the packages here. And when you expand that, that also shows you the dependent packages information. What I already given everything in the notes to you, the dependents also. Is it clear? Okay, all the things are created for you. What is required? Everything comes under the packages. And one more note I said, you remember, assemblies. If at all you add any local assemblies, then you'll have assemblies also there. Okay. Fine. So my first step is completed. What is that? Second step. I want to apply the data annotations now. And guys, remember, I'm showing you code first. I'm showing you, it'll create a database now. It'll create a table now. Everything is going to be created newly. So if you want to create a table and all, you need to tell the key, column name and everything. Annotations are mandatory now. So let us apply the annotations on the customer.cs, guys. So come on. Where is it? Just a minute. We'll close all these files. Customer DAL, add customer. Closed everything. Let me open the customer. Will I apply some annotations now? Okay, I'm importing the two namespaces. You know the two, component model, dot data annotations and schema. And now check. Key. Auto generation? No. Name. Varchar of 100. Balance. Money. And it should be nullable. It should be nullable. Okay. Next. City. Varchar of 100. Status. Status is a Boolean. So it'll create you a bit type. Okay. All the things are done. Step 2 is completed. Step 3. You need to write the connection strings now. In app settings, you're required to put up your connection strings. So connection strings should be added. How to add the connection string? Go to, and come on guys, I'm telling you, if you want a separate connection string for development, staging and production, put it under app settings.development.json. No sir, connection string is common for all environments. Then put it in app settings.json. It is common, put it in the app setting.json. Specific to each environment, put it in the appropriate file. Okay, so I'm putting in app settings.json. You'll find allowed host is equals to, there put a comma, and now continue writing the connection strings now. Okay, continue writing the connection strings, all of you. See, watch. Connection strings, key name, database, data source, user ID, password, and I'm going to create a new database man. MVC core DB. So our old one is MVC DB. Now I'm creating MVC core DB is a new database. What I'm planning to create MVC core DB now. Okay. So that's what, no need of writing the provider name here. No need of writing the provider name here. Simply connection string, data source is enough. You just write the connection string there. That's enough. No need provider name. Okay. So this is the next step. You're required to write the connection string now. So the connection string is present in the appropriate file here. Okay. Step 4. What is step 4? Now add a new class in the models folder with the name. You know that also. DB context class now. You need to add the DB context class. And you guys are familiar what to write in the DB context also. The same code. Go to models folder. Add a class name of the class is MVC code DB context. This is your class. And this class should inherit from DB context, should inherit from the DB context. And the DB context class actually DB context, not coming in the list because of the namespace issue. And the namespace is system.data.entity. Am I correct? Now it is different, guys. It is Microsoft.entity framework core. Class name is same only. Namespace name changed off now. What is it? Microsoft.entity framework core. There it is system.data.entity is the namespace. Here it is Microsoft.entity framework. Okay, done. What next? A constructor. We need to define a constructor and specify the connection string name now. Yes or not? How to? Public MVC core DB context. Guys, this is how we are written now. Colon, base of, and here we specify the constr. Correct? Yes or not? But now we have a small difference, man. What this is, this constructor is going to take a parameter. This constructor is going to take a parameter. What is the parameter? DB context options. And don't pass constr here. What you should pass is options there. And that has a built-in code to read the connection string automatically. That has the built-in code to read the connection string automatically, the options. Okay, don't specify the connection string. So if multiple connection strings are there, I'll tell you. I'll explain you about that. Hold on a second. Public DB set customers. Okay, public DB set customers getter set. Here, the complete confusion what we'll have is, why are you passing this DB context options here? Okay, I'll tell you. Listen. Public class parent. Public parent. And this class is taking a string as a parameter. Constructor is taking string as a parameter. Now I'm writing another class, public class child colon parent. Do your guys remember the sixth rule of inheritance? If the parent class constructor is a default constructor, you can directly call it. But if the parent class constructor is a parameterized constructor, we need to use base keyword and call it now. How do you? Public child. Okay. Colon base. And you are now going to pass some value here. Some value I'm just going to pass. This is how you call. But always the same value goes now. Yes or not? Remember, I taught you the same example for you there. Or if you want to make it dynamic, do one thing. Here also write string s and directly pass yes here. You can pass value for yes dynamically when you're creating the child class instance here. Yes or not? But here if I pass hello, always the same hello goes. Now it's a dynamic. Whenever I create the child class instance, I can do it. Now understand. Now in this place, what we have? DB context. Now the constructor of the DB context, is taking DB context options as a parameter. What is it taking? DB context options as a parameter. Something, just a minute. Something, DCO, something. Okay. Now, for DCO, I can pass a value from here. Second option, without a static value, what you do? Here also, use the same now. Here also use the same now and simply pass it. Now, this object is what you are passing to you. So whenever you're creating the child class instance, you can pass a value for this now. And that is static or dynamic? Dynamic. That is going to be dynamic. That is why you're writing the code like this. Here also you're taking DB context options and passing it. But okay, this is the first clarification I require to give. Second clarification is, Sir, you did not tell the connection string name. Suppose tomorrow if you have multiple connection strings, how will it read? You have one connection string only, not a problem. But tomorrow if there are 2 or 3 connection strings there, how will it read now? You did not specify the connection string name anywhere. Are you clearer or not? Listen, guys, this is also the concept of loose coupling. What's it? You're writing one context class now. Targeting which database? Where did I specify that? Tell me. Where did I specify SQL Server? Show me. Then how are you telling SQL Server now? Loose coupling. I can use it for Oracle also. I can use it for SQL Server also. I can use it for Excel also. Or I can use it for MySQL also. For anything I can use. Loose coupling. I'm not telling the SQL Server anywhere. Watch the code. Did you get my point? Did I say that anywhere? And there also Microsoft.NT Framework Core, not SQL Server. Check that. Microsoft.NT Framework Core. We did not use SQL Server there now. Point clear? This is again the loose coupling only. The same data context class will work for all databases. Then how will you tell which database? We'll talk on it. Wait. Okay. So watch, guys. This is your DB context class. This is your DB context class. See, the above class, MVC code DB context, is not specifically configured to work with SQL Server database, but designed generic to work with any relational database. So this is also loosely coupled with the database we want to work with. We need to inject the information of database we want to work with through the injector class. That is either startup in ASP.NET Core 5.0 or what? Program in ASP.NET Core 6.0 and above. Okay, it's a loosely coupling. Again, the program class I'll tell. What I'll tell? Whether I want to go for using SQL Server or whether I want to go for using Oracle is specified not over there. We are going to specify this in the program class, guys. Am I clearer, all of you? Okay, we'll do it now. Now, step 5. What is step 5? Because MVC core DB context class is loosely coupled, we need to register this class in startup class for ASP.NET Core 5.0 and program class in ASP.NET Core 6.0 and above. And above to tell whether it has to connect with SQL Server or SQLite or MySQL or Oracle or PostgreSQL or Cosmos database. What is your database? So tell that. So that the dependency injection container will tell MVC core DB context class to which database it has to connect with in runtime. To connect with in runtime. Who will tell? Again, the injector class. Injector class will tell now. What will tell? You need to connect with so and so database. So to register the context class, we need to use add DB context method, and to do that, write the below code. What is the method now? Add scoped. That is one. This here, add DB context is the method what has to be used here. Okay, I said you here everything is manual. It is going to be modular architecture. Whatever you want, you must write the code. This is what I explained to you in the day 1. Remember that or not? Okay, nothing comes for free here. Everything service should be manually injected. So if you're working on 5.0, this is the code. And if you're working on 6.0 and above, this is the thing what you require, right? What to do? Go to import. Same, import Microsoft NT Framework Core now. Come on, let us go to program class. Using Microsoft.NT Framework Core. Microsoft.NT Framework Core. And now come here and above this. So guys, this is this one is to tell service, what service you want. And this code, yeah, this code is for injecting service class, injecting our service class, injecting our service class. Now injecting DB context. You're injecting the DB context now. DB context service. Okay. How to inject? Builder dot services dot add DB context. Add DB context. All of you, watch it. Builder dot services dot add DB context. This add DB context, for this add DB context, now you're required to use it. What is it? Guys, observe. DB context options. What is that? You're required to use the same thing here now. Options. Okay. And you need to write the code. Okay. How do you write the code? We just use a lambda expression and we write the code in the form of an anonymous method. In the form of an anonymous method. Options dot use. This is where I'm telling. If I install the Oracle library, then I'll get the method use Oracle. Now I don't have use Oracle. All of you observe. Dot use. Watch there. I don't have use Oracle. You want to use Oracle? Install the Oracle library first. You want to use MySQL? Install the MySQL library. Whatever you install, that appropriate method is added for you in the list now. What is the method now? Now I'm telling here, I'm telling Z what to use now. Use which data source? SQL server. Use the SQL server. And for this, I require to pass the connection string. I require to pass the connection string. Here I should pass the connection string. How? See, basically, builder dot configuration dot get connection string. Builder dot configuration dot get connection string. What is the name, guys? Connesty. Builder dot configuration dot connection string. Watch carefully. You're providing something wrong. Options. Oh, we need to specify the context class name here, guys. I'm sorry. It is specify the context class name. What is the context class name? MVC core DB context. Yeah. See, observe this one. You're using options here, right? You're using options here. And this particular options is nothing but the options what I used here. Are you getting me? This options refers to the options what I used here. And guys, all of you, for this option, we called a method. What is the method? And for that, we passed your connection string now. Now, this connection string is present under options. See now, I'm passing the same options to the parent class now. And parent class will take the connection string from there now. Are you getting me? Tomorrow, if you want to work with Oracle, just comment this and the place of use SQL server, right? Use Oracle. Now the context class will take the Oracle connection string and connect to Oracle now. Use MySQL will connect to MySQL server. So now also we are using the similar dependency injection pattern here also. They're all built in. These are all built-in services. Yesterday I said you two things. Some built-in services are available and some custom services are available. We implemented the custom service and here we are using the inbuilt service that is given by Microsoft. So this is how you need to register the DB context. Once you register, your class is now ready to connect to SQL Server. Which class? DB context class. The DB context class. Are you clear? The DB context class is ready to connect with the SQL Server. See that. Use SQL Server is an extension method under DB context option builder class, which is added on install of Microsoft Identity Framework Core.SQL Server. Same as this, when you install the Oracle provider package, it will add another extension method with the name use Oracle and so on. You'll be getting up the appropriate methods. Okay, done. What next? Add a class in model folder, naming it as. We have done it already yesterday. Array, we've done that already, guys. So what to do? Go into the class. 5 methods are there now. Write the code for the 5 methods to connect to SQL Server, to work with SQL Server. Okay. So go to SQL DAL. I named it lowercase. No issues. Okay. Well, now all the methods are ready, guys. And here, write down the code. How do you write? First, create the context class instance now. What is the context class name? MVC code DB context DC is equals to new. First method, list of customers. How do you write? DC dot customers dot to list. DC dot customers dot to list. Simply return. You're going to return. Second method. DC return. DC dot customers dot find customer ID. Find the customer ID. But the find methods. Oh, I returned the delete. Sorry, guys. Sorry. This is customer select. Okay, here is your customer. Copy. I'm putting in a sequence. That's all. Okay. So we're just going to use the method. Next, insert, update, and delete. I hope you guys remember the insert, update, delete code. For insert, you're required to add the object and call save changes. Add the object and call the save changes. Watchman. DC.customers.add and save the changes. Next, update. Now, guys, in NT Framework Core, you're given a direct method update. NT Framework, we're given a direct method called as update. No need to override the old values with the new values. No need. Straight away, you have a method now. What is the method? Update. Pass the model object. Inbuilt code. Simplified the things again. Last step, save changes. And you know this, we don't deal with the status on the UI. So status should be set up here. Delete. Here also we have a direct method delete. But here also, first to find, set the status and call save changes. Just a minute. Find, set the status and call save changes. Fine. All methods are done now. All the 3, 4, 5 methods are done. So here we are getting an error. We are getting an error, core DB context class. This also should be injected in the form of a dependency injection only. Array, that also should come here as a dependency injection. Constructor. MVC core DB context. This dot context is equals to context. It's the same code you written there, recollect. In a controller, this is the same code we written. So here also, don't create an instance directly. What you do? Use the dependency injection to inject the object. So just a minute. I'll tell you one more time. Just a second. Generally, in MVC 5, what we done? We simply create the context class instance. What the context class name? MVC core DB context. Context is equals to new. But here you should pass a parameter here. What parameter? We're going to pass that. And without doing all those particular, without passing that again here. Why? Because that information is specified already in the program class now. Without passing all the things, what you'll do? Define a constructor for your current class. Here, what you write? MVC core, DB context, context. Now come here and write down what this dot context is equals to context. So that you don't require to again say new of. If I say new, I need to again pass a value for that now. Now I'm not passing any value. What I'm doing? Declared variable, constructor injection. Constructor injection. Automatically, the context object will come here. The context object is going to come here now. Okay. So this is my next step. What is that? Add a class in the models folder, naming it as and implement the interface iCustomerDal and provide implementation to all the abstract methods of interface, targeting SQL Server database. You're targeting the SQL Server database and writing all the code. Okay. In the above case, we are using dependency injection to inject the context class object through the constructor. Again, you have gone for the dependency injection only. Is again a dependency injection. Complete application will be dependency injection only. No tight coupling. All are loosely coupled. Anything can be easily modified going forward. Okay. What next? Migrations. DB, we are using code first. Database is there. Huh? Do we have the database? Database should be created. Table should be created. All these things, action should be performed. So it is a DB first, code first approach. Okay. If you want to go for using the code first approach, what you need to do? Migrations. There we learned automated migrations. Here we don't have automated migrations. Already in the first I said you, automated migrations are removed. What we have is only manual migration. Code-based migrations or manual migration. Come on, read step 7. You're required to run all the commands now. What is the first command? I hope you remember this command already. We worked with this command. Initial migration. When you just want to add a migration in the initial migration, we just call that particular method called as add migration. And once you call the add migration, it is going to add you a migration for you. Okay. Come on. Let's come here. Open what? Package manager console. What is the command name, guys? Add migration. Give some name for the migration. Any name you like. Initial migration. And guys, happens the same thing. It adds you the migrations folder. Build started, build succeeded. To undo the action, it is telling you use remove migration. Watch. And it will create you 2 files in it. First file, initial migration, and also another file called as snapshot file. What is this snapshot file? I'll tell you. See the initial migration file. It contains the up command with a create table and a down command. Array, you learned it already there. Up command will create, down command will drop it. Okay. And we have another file called as a snapshot file. This snapshot file will contain all the information now. What information? Customer ID. Column data type should be integer. Name. Balance. The data type here is balance. And the column data type should be money. City. Required means mandatory field. It's a mandatory field now. Max length 100. Varchar. Name. Required. Mandatory field. 100. Varchar. Next status bit. And key column. Table name. All the data will be stored for you inside of the file. If you open the file, all information will come and you'll show you here. Tomorrow, if you add a new property, this file gets updated. This file only will be updated. Understood my point? So this is the snapshot file. We call it as a snapshot file. So this is the first thing we require to do. Add a migration. Okay. Read this, guys, all of you. Sorry. Just a minute. The above command will create a folder under the project with the name. And in the folder, it will create a file with the name timestamp _ initial migration.cs. And in the file, we find create table and other SQL statement which must be executed on the database. And to execute them, run the below command. You know the second command also. What is it? Update database. Come on. Update -database. I'm not running, guys. Before I run, let me open the database and show you. We don't have a database with a name called MVC Core DB. What we have is MVC DB. MVC Core DB database is not present in our SQL server, right? Now it will create you MVC Core DB as well as the customer table also will be created. Okay, just watch. Databases. Check. Do you have MVC Core DB? Not present now? Okay. Come on. Come here. Run. Build started. Build succeeded. Error occurred. Login process. Certificate chain was issued by an authority that is not trusted. Just a minute. We need to add one extra attribute there. That's all. Trusted connection or some attribute will be present here. We need to add that. I forgot that attribute name. User ID, password. Yeah. Trust server certificate. Yeah, trust server certificate. Okay. Apart from that, one more thing will be there. I'll tell you. Just a minute. Oxy password. Simple. Copy this error message here. Yeah, we can use that also. We can use that also. Just paste it here. Someone will tell you the answer. Trust server certificate. Yeah, right, man. That will work. Trust server certificate. If you get the error, should not get, but if you still get the error, what you'll do? Come to app settings and add an extra attribute here. What is that? Trust server certificate is equals to true. Trust server certificate is equals to true. That is what you should run. Let's try again. Done. Watchman. What it has done. Created database MVC core now. Next. It is just going to create the table now. Customer. Int, not null. Name, not null. Money, null. Varchar, not null. Bit, not null. Primary key. And also, it created you a table called as EF migration history. Remember this table? See that. Here migration history. Migration ID, product version. All the data will be stored in the migration history table, remember? And it inserted a record into the migration history also. What is it? The name of the migration file. We got a file in our database. The name of the migration file and the version number. The version number. Okay, you can come to SQL now. Refresh. You will see the database with the two tables. Migration history and the customers. So if you right click on the, okay, just go for the migration history table. What it will contain? And second one is product version. .NET 7 is what we are using, remember. .NET 7. So that is the product version. And second one, customers. It's a customers table. Right now, there's no data in the table. Empty table. Table creator. So DB first, sorry, code first. Database, the table, everything is created for me. So what next? What next? Everything is ready. Finally do one thing. Go to program class. Change the class name. That's all. See now, I did not change the class name. Run. I've written all the SQL Server code, done all these things, but still that doesn't have any impact with me now. What will work? XML will work. Check yourself. What is working? So no, sir, I want a SQL Server. You want a SQL Server? Okay. Tell me one thing. Did I touch the controller or views now? I did not touch the controllers. I did not touch the views. I made a lot of changes related to database, but it did not do anything in the controller, anything in my view also. Okay. Now come to program class and simply say SQL DAL. Run. Change up to SQL. Now implement Oracle and specify there. It will connect up to Oracle now. Let's see. 101. See there. Go to SQL. The steps might be lengthy. The steps might be lengthy to understand for the first time, but the concept or the approach is going to be very, very beautiful. That's the beauty of the architecture. With one single change, I can change up my complete database in the application. So tomorrow, I said you an example yesterday. One client is asking for Oracle. One client is asking for SQL Server. One client is telling, I cannot afford XML is okay for me. One client is telling, for me a low cost, Excel is okay. For all of them, my change is only one. What is that? I'll go to program class, and in the program class, I will tell the name of the class that should be used here. And once I use, that comes into action. All controllers, all views are not changed. We did not touch them today at all. Yesterday, we've done all the things, but today we did not touch the controller. We did not touch the views. Action methods in the views. These things are not touched. The same code is working with Excel also. Sorry, XML also, working with SQL Server also. Is my point clear? Understood about the dependency injection? So this is the beauty of the dependency injection. Okay, now see, step 8. Now go to startup class for ASP.NET Core 5.0 or program class for C# and above. And change the service class name in the method where we registered the interface. That is, service class name customer XML DAL should be changed to. That's how you write. For us, the preferred option is add scoped. Already said here. For us, the preferred option is add scoped. Why, sir? Why I said add scoped? With one connection only, we want to do multiple actions here. With one connection, we want to do multiple actions. So that's why add scoped is the most recommended option what we have in this particular case. So go for using the add scoped there. Okay, for our application, add scoped is the right option because we are dealing with database connections. Now run the customer controller, invoke the action method to perform CRUD operation. And the advantage is the same controller and views can be used now also without rewriting them again. Without rewriting them again, we can use the same thing now. Okay. Yeah. Now let's have a more detailed look about the migration commands here. The migration commands. What's it? Migration is a feature which helps the database schema in sync with our entity classes by preserving data. By preserving data. EF Core API. See, remember the advantage of manual migration. Manual migrations will preserve the data. Automated migrations will not preserve the data. Data loss problem is there. And if at all you want to preserve the data, what is the best option? Manual migrations only. That's why automatic migrations are completely removed off. What they said is only manual migration, because in manual migration, the beauty is data preserving is available. Okay. EF Core API builds the EF Core model from the domain classes, and EF Core migrations will create or update the database schema based on EF Core model. Whenever we change the domain classes, you need to run migrations to keep the database schema up to date. EF Core migrations are a set of commands that can be executed in NuGet package manager console or in .NET command line interface. You can execute in two places here. You can execute in the package manager. That is what we are doing. You can even execute at the developer command prompt also now. Two options are there. Okay, watch them. I given you both the two options to you. PMC commands means package manager commands. Second one, .NET CLI commands. First command, add migration, migration name. If you want to use it as a command line, how to write? Migration name. Usage, creates a migration by adding a migration snapshot. Okay, second command, remove migration. In .NET CLI, it is just to remove, that's all. Removes the last migration snapshot. Okay, next. We used 1 and 3 already. What is 3? Update the database schema based on the last migration snapshot. Next, script. Generates a SQL script by using all the migration snapshots. We'll show you. So come on, let's test. First one. At the very first time, when we define the initial domain classes and there is no database for our application, then we need to create our first migration to create the database, as well as whenever we change our domain classes, we need to create a new migration to update the database now. First time initial, afterwards updates. We need to create the updates. Again, you can observe, I given you both the two options to you. Package manager console is simple when compared with the .NET CLI, but I given both options. Package manager console, what you written? Add migration, initial migration. .NET CLI, you need to go to your drive, your personal folder, and your project solution folder, project folder. There you need to write. How to write? .NET EF migrations, add initial migration. A little bit tough, but option is there. Just I'm listing you. I suggest you use package manager console, enough. But just telling you that option is also available. Tomorrow we go to a Linux environment, then we should use the .NET CLI, because there we cannot use PMC commands. No studio for Linux. No studio for Linux. Then what to do? The .NET CLI command should be used. Next, in the above statement, initial migration is the name of the migration, which will create a migration folder with 2 files in it. What are the 2 files, guys? Now read. First one, timestamp underscore. This file includes migration operations in up and down methods. The up method includes code for creating database objects, and down method includes code for dropping database objects. And a snapshot, I shown you the snapshot. What it contains? The current model state, what properties are there, what data types to use, all the information will be present in the snapshot file now. This is a snapshot of your current model, which is used to determine what is changed when creating the next migration. Next one, updated database. We use this command to create or update database schema based on migration we have created. See both options again. With the package manager console, update database. It's a .NET CLI, .NET EF database update. This command will create the database if it is not existing based on the context, domain classes, and the migration snapshot, which is created using the add migration or add commands. If this is the first migration, if this is the first migration, it will also create a table with the name EF migration history, which will store the names of all migrations that are executed till now, which are applied to the database. Third, remove migration. Read it. I said you about this one also, guys. Remove migration will remove the migration file for you. But don't forget, you cannot remove the migration which is applied. I already shown you this option also to you. If the migration is applied, can I remove? You can't. Try if you want. Right now, how many migrations we have? One only now? Tell me. We have only one migration now. And now I want to remove that migration. See, remove hyphen migration. Which migration is removed? The last migration should be removed. When I say this, started the build succeeded, error. The migration has already been applied to the revert it and try again. If the migration has been applied to other databases, consider reverting changes using a, you cannot revert it. Why? Because it is already applied. I printed the message to you there. If this migration is already applied in database, then it will throw an exception and displays below error message. Clear? Huh? Right now, I cannot do it. Next, reverting a migration. What is reverting a migration? Suppose we changed our domain classes and created a second migration with the name new migration 1. Using the add migration command, I applied the migration to database using update command, but for some reason we want to revert or roll back. Reverting or roll back the database to its previous state, then we need to use the update database migration name command to revert the database to the specific previous migration snapshot. We learned about this there also. Rollbacking, I shown you there also. It will bring you back to the old state. Whatever is the old state, it will revert you back to the old state of your database. How to apply the command? See, if you're working with package manager console, update database, it will revert it now. It will revert it now. The above command will revert the database based on the named initial migration and removes all the changes applied to second migration named new migration 1. This will also remove the entry from the EF migration history table in the database, but this will not remove the migration file related to the. So we need to use remove command and remove them from the project. You remember this? I shown you this particular thing there also. When you say remove, it is not going to remove the file. You need to remove the file manually on your own now. That won't remove the file. It should remove the file manually on. Next one. I'll show you all practically. I given the notes. First, I'm only telling you the commands. All things will see practically. Generating a, use this command to generate a SQL script for the database. How to? Script hyphen migration. Script hyphen migration. What are the command, guys? Script hyphen migration. It generated the script file. See, create table, all the code is generated. It'll give you. For what, sir? Tomorrow, if you want to manually execute it on any machine, you can use this. Manually execute an animation, you can use this. Option is available for scripting. You will use it or don't use it or is your choice. But that option is available. Next, help commands. Package manager console provides us a help command, get-help, using which we can get help about any required topic. See there, get-help NT framework. Open the package manager console. Get -help. I want help about entity framework. They are the commands in the NT framework now. You want to get the information about add migration? Get-help add migration. Will you give the information about the add migration now? See the syntax. Add migration name. You can pass some other information also. We'll see, but this is how you can get the help. Whatever command you want, you can just use get help. Add the name of the command. Okay. So here also. Okay. To try the above commands, do the following. Let's try all the commands. Already we tried 2. What is that? Add migration, update database. Call him. Next time you'll go out of the class. I'm seeing you for the last 15 minutes. You're looking down and watching your phone. Why did you come to the class then? Stop your phone first. Stop your phone first. Don't come to the class if you're not interested. Don't come and sit without just concentrating on the class. Okay, let's try the commands. First, go to, let's add a new property now. What? State. We don't have the state property by default, right? Customer class, state. This column is not present in our database now, right? So what to do? Be careful here. Is it nullable or non-nullable? Nullable. Be careful. Don't make it non-nullable. If you make it non-nullable, problem now. Why? If you make it non-nullable, there is a problem now. Why, sir? Array, if it is non-nullable, by default already we have a record in the table now. If it's non-nullable, you'll throw an error. It should be nullable, and by default the default value should be null there. Okay, that should be nullable. Okay, now what you'll do? Create a new migration. What is the name? Update 1. Come on, open the package manager console. Update migration, update 1. Guys, it will create you created a what you have. Remember here, add column, drop column. Add column, drop column. I did not tell the data type. So, and where care of max is taken. Nullable, false. Okay. And now you see, you here, you go to the snapshot here. If you go to the snapshot, if you go to the snapshot here, that is added. State. State is added now. It is going to add you the state property for you in this. What next? We'll update it. We'll update it. Meanwhile, do one more thing. Add one more property. We did not update the database. Remember the point. Okay. We did not update. We only added a migration. That's all. Now I added another property. Name. Country. Name is country. Again, let's create update 2. Let's create update 2. Are you clearer? Okay. Now, guys, we created the migration, but these migrations are not applied. Can we remove? Can we remove or not? Now we can remove that, guys, because the migrations are not applied. How to remove? remove migration. Already shown you earlier, we got error that now it has to remove that migration now. Okay. So observe, open the package manager console and say remove hyphen migration. Which migration is removed? The last one. What is the last one? Update to should be removed off from our code now. Update 2 is not there now. What you have? Update 1 is there, but update 2 is removed off. Update 2 is deleted. That's what. See what I done carefully. First, I add a state, add a migration. The above action will create a new migration file with migrations in the migration folder with the name timestamp underscore update 1, which contains an up method for adding a new column and down method for dropping the column. The snapshot file will contain the modifications that are made. Next, go to customer class again and add a new property as below. How? Public string country, step 4. Open PMC and create a new migration. Again, creating a new migration here. Next. The above action will create a new migration file under migration folder. Same here with up and down commands. Same thing only. What I said here, I copy pasted here. That's all. Update 2.cs. Next. We can use the remove migration command to remove the last created migration file as following. Remove migration. The above action will remove the last migration file. What is it? And this action will also update the snapshot file. Now let us apply update 1. How to update? Update database. Come to SQL. Check. Got it? You got it or not? You just got it. The new column has been added up here. Okay, next. The action will update the last migration file. That is update 1 to the database, but the property country is not removed from the customer class. Remember, what is that? Array, state and country are the two things we created, right? State is updated, but country is not. Why? We removed the country migration, but we forgot to remove the property in the file now. That is still present there. Okay, that is still present there, which should be explicitly removed by us, or we can even create a new migration for that property update. Manually remove or create a new update. Shall we try adding this country also now? Same style again. What? First, add migration. Next, update database. Country. We got the country also in this. You see now, update 1 is there, update 2 is there. Okay, so it is going to update you the migrations now. Okay, what next? Now go to customer class and let us add one more now. What's it? Continent. So with these 3 properties we newly added, right? Continent. Can you create a migration for this also now? Add migration, update 3. Okay, and also update the database. Continent. Are you clear? So for everything I have a separate migration here. See that the above action will update both migrations to the database. That is update 2 and okay. I did not after 2. I did not call update directly. I called after 3. Did you understand what I said? You after 2 I did not call update directly. After 3 only I called update. So directly it updated both migrations. Now 2 and 3 are also updated. The above action will update both migrations to the database, that is update 2 and update 3 also. And we can verify this by connecting to SQL 7, querying on the table EF migration history table. If you go to the table, let's query on that, guys. Select star from Check. How many updates are there? Three updates are there. Sir, can you bring me back to the original state? Original state? Yes. I don't want all these 3 columns. Just to give an idea, I shown you that's all. I don't want. I want it back to original state. Means initial migration. I want it to initial migration. I want it to be rolled back to the initial migration. Did you understand my point here? See now, if I use remove migration, you'll get error. Why? Migrations are already applied. Remember, remove hyphen migration is an error. Why? The migrations are already applied. The what to do? Roll back. How to roll back? Update database migration name. Update database, the name of your migration. Go and watch, man. All 3 are deleted and see the entries also. So how to use this, sir? Copy this, man. Copy this here and use update database and paste that name there. Miss, I'm asking to roll back to this migration, the initial migration. So immediately everything is rolled back to the initial migration. See that, roll back migration. If we want to bring our database schema back to its any state, that is to any of the migrations we applied, we can revert the migration, and to do that, we need to use update database command with the migration name. You can get the name of the migration to where we want to roll back from the EF migration history table. Okay. We want to revert, and to test this, go to package manager console and use the below command, update database. There, use your timestamp underscore initial migration. The above action will roll back to initial migration, updates the table EF migration history, but it will not remove the migration files. See, these migration files are not removed. Sir, how to remove, sir? Remove migration. We need to call remove migration. So how many are there? 3, na? Okay. Remove hyphen migration. We'll remove the last migration only, not all the 3. Check. What is removed? Update 3. Again, remove migration. 2 is removed now. Again, remove migration. 1 is also removed. And go to the snapshot file. The snapshot file is back to original state. See there, state, country, continent are not there. But this is not going to change the customer class. These 3 you only should delete. Don't forget. These 3 you only should delete it. Okay. So anytime you can use these commands and you can update the database now. Okay. The above action will roll back the initial migration and update the table EF migration history, but will not remove the migration files under the project. And to remove them, we need to use the remove migration command for 3 times, because each time it removes 1 migration. These actions will not remove the properties we added in our customer class. So go there and explicitly delete them also. Don't forget that properties also should be explicit. If you want to make it permanent, well and good. Now you're required to make changes in your views and action methods also. Don't forget that. Not action views. In the views, we need to add the appropriate thing. No, sir, just to testing purpose, I just added all the things. Then delete all the things. Just only for testing only, I shown you all the options. So this is the second time I taught you about code-based migrations. Once I taught you with entity framework, and today I taught you with entity framework core. But there I taught you automated also, but here we don't have automated. What we have is only code-based or manual migrations. Is that clear? So this is entity framework core. This is entity framework core. Now my project has the database coding now. My project has the database code. So 2 different data sources targeting code is there. One is XML and one is SQL Server. So it is according to my client choice. I can provide the client either with XML as a data source or SQL Server as a data source. And going forward, we can also go for implementing Oracle code there, SQL code there, all. Understood? And remember, guys, we are building this as a project. Are you clear? We will add all the functionalities to it. We'll add all the functionalities. We'll talk about seed data. Remember seed data? In initial data, what should be inserted, how to put it. Okay, we'll add exception handling. What should happen when you get client-side errors? What should happen when you get server-side errors? The appropriate pages should be shown now. And we'll add these links in the master page so that without always typing the URLs directly, I can go to master page and open. We'll add a authentication pages for that, for registration as well as login. And we'll see permissions for a particular user, for what operations you want to give the permissions. We'll put everything on this. Okay, the same project only will continue until the deployment, scenario. Okay, let's stop here. We'll see tomorrow. I shown you already how to remove specific migration. What is that? Update database, migration name. You cannot remove something in the middle. See, even in SQL Server, the question is like, the question is like, can we remove specific migration? What is it? I applied 4. I want to remove something in the 2 in the middle, 3 in the middle. Not possible. Even in SQL Server, you know, commit and rollback. When you say rollback, it will roll back. But when you say commit, it will commit all. Everything is committed. You cannot commit up to a particular level. Here also, it is not going to be specifically, you cannot remove any migration. You can remove only all the migrations. Means, I want to remove something in the middle. Not possible. That is not possible. Is that clear? Basha, it's not possible. You cannot remove specific migration. From the bottom, only you can remove.